Hello everyone, it's Shannon here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are celebrating Honeybee Stamp's June release, the Summer Stems release, with a fun video hop. And in my video, I'm going to create this rainbow card using the Wildflowers Stamp Set. I'm going to start with an A2 panel of Bristol paper. Now Bristol paper comes in two kinds or two types, a vellum or a smooth. Either will work for this. I'm actually using the vellum because I accidentally bought this type of Bristol paper instead of the smooth. Smooth is typically what people use. I'm starting out with a rainbow array of Tombow dual brush pens, and I'm just very quickly scribbling them around this A2 panel of Bristol paper. This doesn't have to be perfectly smooth or anything, but I am kind of tapering them, making them almost triangular towards the center, because I do want the center to try to be a little bit white just for a little variation. So I'm continuing to work my way around here. I really love these colors. I love using Tombow dual brush pens because they are so bold and bright. They really maintain that intensity. So I'm finishing up here with my last shade, a really kind of dark blue, really pretty blue. And now that I have all my colors scribbled down onto my panel, I'm going to grab my spray bottle and spritz this a couple times with my water, and you can see right away the colors are starting to move around and spread. Now I have this rocket air blower. Typically this is used for moving alcohol inks, but I'm using it here just to help me move those colors around a little bit, get kind of like some splattery looks, and also help them mix a tiny bit too, just so they have a nicer blend between my shades. Now I'm just about done here. I am keeping my finger in the center because it's kind of bowing up a little bit because of all the water, and that just helps so the colors don't really start to mix and almost turn muddy. I'm just holding it down in the center a little bit here. Now I put down a piece of cardboard, and now I'm hitting this with my heat gun to really dry it up. You can definitely leave it alone and let it dry by itself, but this way it kind of cements those colors where they are and allows me to move on to the next step fairly quickly. So now we're going to move on to the Wildflowers Stamp Set. This is a beautiful set. It comes with all these beautiful stems of flowers and leaves. I'm going to arrange some here in the upper left corner of my panel in my Misty, and I am going to ink them up in intense black ink from Honeybee Stamps. This is a really pretty ink. I really love how it stamps. And it is actually alcohol friendly, but I'm not going to do any alcohol coloring today. So I did stamp that one corner. Now I repositioned my panel in my Misty, grab some more stems and position them, pick them up, and again I'll just ink them up in that intense black ink to stamp that other corner. Now I just have two little spaces to fill in, or two little corners to kind of fill in a little bit more, so I'm just going to kind of finish up here with a couple more of these leaves and flowers just to kind of really fill out this whole kind of frame. Basically, I'm kind of creating a frame with these leaves and flowers around my panel. And there it is, all stamped and done. Now we're going to move on to kind of an extra step. You can definitely stop here, but I decided I wanted to add a little shadow. So I've grabbed a couple gray Tombow pens. Starting with my lighter gray, I'm just adding a shadow kind of to the lower left side of my flowers and leaves. Now you don't have to worry about making this shadow totally accurate. Just a little bit of that gray to one side of a stem or a petal will really add some more depth and allow your flowers to kind of pop away a little bit from the background. It still won't be overwhelming or too distracting, but it's just a nice little touch. It really does make them pop a little bit more. So now for the dark blue section, that's where I'm going to grab my darker gray, because my lighter gray was not really showing up over that really almost like cobalt blue. So here I have a darker gray to add my shadow. And I'm just about done here. Switch back to my lighter gray for this kind of teal color. And once I finish the shadow on this little stem of leaves, I'm actually all done with my shadow layer. So now we're going to move on to our sentiment, because that background is done. So I have the new Miss You Big Time sentiment set. This set is awesome. You get a variety of sentiments. They come with these beautiful big scripty main sentiments, and then you get these nice linear sub sentiments. So I love that combo. If you've watched my videos, I love a big scripty sentiment with a linear sub sentiment. So I just stamped that in black on white cardstock and die cut that out. Now moving on to my sub sentiment, I'm going to heat emboss this, so I did apply some anti-static powder, inked it up in Versamark ink, and now I'm dipping it into some white embossing powder, creating, you know, your classic black and white sentiment strip. Just heat setting this, and then I'll trim that with my paper trimmer. So now I have my sentiments ready and my background's done, so we're ready to finish this card up. I'm going to start by adhering that background on to my card base, which I'm sorry I lost the footage for that, but now that's stuck down. And then I'm going to move on to my sentiments. I've already added some foam adhesive to the back side of my sentiments. This is going to add some nice dimension to them and make them pop a little bit away from the background. I just removed the backing on that beautiful big scripty happy birthday. I'm going to center that and stick that down. And then for my sentiment strip, I'm going to remove the backing on that center and then add a little adhesive to the right side because that's where it overlaps with my birthday. So I don't want to get any of that foam there, and I'm using the glue to make sure it really stuck down. So now I have these gem stickers from Honeybee. This came in, this is part of, this pack I should say is part of the Summer Stems release, and it has these really pretty kind of iridescent gems. So I am sticking a few of those down just to add a little bit of sparkle to this rainbow background. So now I've stuck some of my gems down. My card is complete. So now I'll just hold it to the camera so you can get a good look at the finished card. I really love how this turned out. This is a great way to have lots of color but not actually have to color your florals. This was a really fast and easy card. Really the only coloring we did was that added shadow, but again, you can totally skip that part if you want. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card and video. If you have any questions about the products I used, please check out the links below in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.